speaker is someone whom I need to highlight. He is from Hong Kong Special Administration, and he is the first member of the Chinese Academy of Engineering from the Shanghai Special Administration. With his efforts, China, thanks to him, is prompted to the international market, and he is known as the father of electric vehicle of Asia, and he's awarded as China Annual Figure 2022. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Dr. Chen Qingquan, who is a member of the Chinese Academy of Engineering, expert in EV. So please join me in giving Professor Chen a warm round of applause for him to deliver his keynote speech, Energy Restructuring and Order Revolution, an enabling environment for innovation in the new era. The floor is yours, Professor Chen. Many thanks to the moderator for the kind introduction. And also, I would like to give my kudos to previous speakers, ladies and gentlemen, guests, experts. I'm really, really happy. I was just back from the United States, and in the States, I was hosting the third World Electric Vehicle Conference. As I was just back from the conference, I was just back from the States. I'm really happy to attend this meaningful forum. Why meaningful? Because I think nowadays, we are facing sort of once in every 100-year transition featuring industrial changes and technological progress and innovation. Mankind has moved from the agricultural economy to industrial economy, and now we are moving towards digital economy. We are facing energy transition, commuting transition, as well as other types of transition. In today's world, vehicles are more than simple ways or means of commuting. They represent the integration of transportation, energy, and information. Also, they represent the third space where human beings are going to live. So the first space is your home, and the second space is your office, whereas the third space is going to be your vehicles. That's how we redefine the meaning of vehicles. And in the midst of all the grand transitions, what kind of role can PGMs play? That is the key topic of my speech today. I'm really happy to have this chance to discuss this very important topic with you. So a few words about the agenda of my speech. Firstly, I'm going to talk about innovation, science, engineering, technology. What are the missions of all these items? And then I'm going to cover a bit about how human beings have transitioned from the agricultural economy through industrial economy to digital economy. Thirdly, I'm going to talk about the current energy transition and what kind of important role hydrogen can play, including the status quo and trend, and what role can PGMs play in the midst of all the transitions, followed by a brief introduction of the trend of the commuting revolution, as well as fuel cell vehicles. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the key roles PGMs are going to play. And finally, I'm going to talk about the four network integration, for which I've already written a book that's about to be published in July this year. I'm going to elaborate on the integration. The four networks cover energy network, information network, transportation network, and the four streams cover energy stream and value stream.
So the core is basically in the integration of three worlds: the humanity worlds, the physical world, and the information world. And through this integration, we are able to turn the information in the physical world into the wisdom and intelligence. I was born in the UK, but later I went back to Beijing to study in the Beijing.
汇报为祖国健康服务50周年，因为那个时候清华的体育老师，清华有个要求，就清华的毕业生一定要为祖国至少服务50周年，我已经达到这个指标。然后呢，我有机会到世界名校啊，这是我在伯克利大学，在89年，这是95年啊，我在 麻省理工，今年我上个礼拜我又回到，你看看那个时候跟我那个时候的我，人变老了，树木长大了。同样，我这19年也是在哈佛大学，我上个礼拜我也在哈佛，我同样在同一个地方拍个照，发现我人变老了我树木也变长了，10年树木，100年树人然后是我印象最深的就是哈佛的 motto， 哈佛的校正叫 truth， 追求真理。我们科学家就是要追求真理然后我有机会到剑桥的这个 motto freedom of inquiry， 我今天戴的还是剑桥的皮带 freedom of inquiry， 这也就是今天我们的主题应用创新和合作这是剑桥然后我也在加州理工大学，所以这些熏陶了我。好的，所以我们讲创新科学和工程。什么是科学？科学是发现，科学是知识，科学是真理。1加1等于2，在美国、在中国都一样。你的政治思想意识可能有不同，但是1加1等于2，大家都要认同，因为它是真理。科学是知识，科学是真理。科学要回答问题是 why， 为什么？什么是工程呢？工程要把科学和技术和管理集成，工程要能够解决问题，工程要能够落地。所以从某一个意义上来说，工程在推动经济当中发挥的作用还要更大那么什么是技术呢？技术是技巧，技术是工匠精神，精益求精。好的，刚才讲了科学，那么科学的精神是质疑精神，独立思考 freedom of inquiry。 科学的方法有3个：逻辑推理、演绎计算、实验人生。科学的特征是科学无国界，科学家有祖国，科学无止境。有人问我今年86岁了，有人问我什么时候退休？对科学家没有退休，只要你的心脏还在跳动，你要把自然界的规律造出来，造福全人类。好的，那么我创新最主要是你的思维方法那么我提倡我们的思维方法就是英文叫做 holistic thinking。这个 holistic thinking 用中文可以翻成是环境思想也好，实际上就是我们易经的思想。那个易经，你看易经里面一半是黑，一半是白，但是它是弯曲的，不是直线的，也就是黑可以变成白，白可以变成黑，黑中有白，白中有黑。这 holistic thinking 是最重要的。今天我们不但要用数学模型，也用大数据和区块链。今天我们不但要能够分析因果关系，也要能够分析相关关系。今天我们要听取反馈，闭环思维，还要有循环思维的思想。工程，我提倡工程哲学。什么是工程哲学呢？工程哲学我归纳出6点。首先，它的核心就是要有系统的集成优化，还有产学研结合。工程要有目标，这个跟科学不一样。往往科学家是出于好奇心，但是我们搞工程一定要有目标，不但有目标，还有思想。所以我们跟科学是紧密相连。科学要在科学的基础上，因为科学是知道为什么那么我们要知道怎么做Science is answering why, but we engineering is answering how 所以你要有时还有方法，要能够执行。所以我归纳出1、2、3、4、5、6。第一，要有目标，有了目标是你的思想，2、3、4是思想，整体的思想，闭环的思想闭环的思想，这个循环的思想，要了解因果关系和相关关系然后呢，2、3、4思想，3是创造性，第4要遵守科学程序有时候分到这，有时候说或者。1是目标，2、3、4是思想，5、6要执行。这个要执行当中呢，要考虑人的因素要有团队的精神。另外，工程跟科学比较，它有2个特点：工程需要经验，工程需要实践。好的，人类的技术革新越来越频繁所以我们要加紧我们的创新。好的。那么在创新当中，最主要要有批判性的思考， 只要我们不违反物理规律，什么都可以做得到。这个底线，我不违反物理规律，什么都可以做得到。好的，那么我们要培养创新性的科技人才。创新性的科技人才包括什么呢？包括要有扎实的基础，第二个要有敏锐的观察力，第三个要有深入的分析能力，第四个要有质疑精神，容易进入无人区，容易要发表自己创新的观点。然后我们的创新从科学怎么能够促进经济的发展，要有个生态链。这个生态链有4个要素：第一，要有基础科学；第二，要有应用研究；第三个呢，要有高科技企业；第四个要有金融的知识。这就是一个生态链，这就是生态链。好的，那么我们人类正面临着从农业经济到工业经济到数字经济。农业经济是以个体为主的，工业经济是大生产，数字经济数字变为生产力。今天你的算力就是你的核心价值，算力、算法平台，所以有很好的算力。我们要搞大模型，搞大模型没有算力不行所以今天算力成为经济时代的核心的竞争力。好的，那么数据作为生产要素非常有意义，因为数据本身就蕴藏着这个海量的信息。有了数据，我们可以预测、提前布局；有了数据，我们能够分析、规避风险；有了数据，我们能够改进精准决策。能源革命能源革命的核心就是要这个绿色、智能可持续那么在能源革命当中，氢能发挥很大作用。我们国务院已经出了文件我们氢能呢是国家未来能源系统的重要组成部分。我们氢能呢是能源利用和绿色低碳转型的重要载体。氢能产业是我们战略性氢产业，是未来产业的重点发展方向。好的，那么我看看氢能有3个特征，特征之一是完全零排放，弃之不屑，完全可循环特点之一。特点之二，氢能呢，它既是能源又是物质，可以互相转换，既是原料又是材料。所以你看看我提出的4往16里面各种能源，电网天然气、煤炭，各种的能源通过我提出的4往16，这4往16然后氢能是很重要的因素，它能够通过这个解决时代
whole structure because it is able to propel the generation of renewable energy. It is itself a renewable energy, and it can also become a storage of a power. With hydrogen, it is able to support different applications in a chemical fuel and in the chemical industry, the fuel cell vehicles, and so on and so forth. Right now, we're talking about renewable energy like wind and solar, but wind and solar, they are intermittent. It's not stable. If there is no tidal waves or tidal wind, then the wind power would stop. So with the support of the hydrogen as a storage, it is able to solve the intermittency problem of the renewable energies. So we can see from this diagram that hydrogen power is in a central role of the energy system and even our industry landscape. Hydrogen itself is not only a power source, but also a kind of a catalyst. It is able to facilitate the chemical reactions used in many industries. it is also, as I mentioned, a complement to our current energy system. The hydrogen is easy to store, but it is pretty difficult to transport. While renewable energy, it is difficult to store, but it's difficult to transport, and it's easy to transport but difficult to store. So that's why the hydrogen and renewable energy can complement each other. Okay, so much for the hydrogen technology. Well, let's talk about the mobility revolution and the development of NEV cars. So the revolution of mobility needs a battery power. So electrification, intelligent technology, the connectivity, and the shared mobility is the four big revolutions in the automobile industry. And so far, I would say that the first half of the electrification revolution has finished. Now we are moving towards the intelligent technology, connectivity, and shared driving. While in China, in the past 8 years, the sales and production of automobiles were the top one in the world for 8 years in a row. And one significance of the intelligent car and the connected car is that it is totally combined with energy transportation. So with the transformation in the automobile industry, it is not only able to transform energy, but it's also able to change the landscape of the city, make the city smarter. And the foundation of this revolution is, as I mentioned, the integration of four networks and four flows. The theoretical foundation is the in-depth integration between the human world, information world, and physical world. And if we look back at the history of the battery development, power battery development, and we can see it did have a very long history. So electric car actually was invented before the ICE cars. It was invented over 100 years ago by Thomas Edison. But later it was taken over by the ICE cars because the first generation electric car is not very stable and the performance is not as well. But now we are in the new age. So now with the development in the power battery, we are able to propel the NEV cars and make the range as much longer. So now we have all kinds of power battery solutions. Now we are using the LFP or the tertiary structured lithium power. So these solutions are able to make the NEV cars very competitive and make it almost equivalent range-wise with ICE cars. And in these power batteries, we also need the PGM to serve as the catalyst. Well, the NEV cars is developing fast in China. Well, I think I need to further elaborate on that. So there are two ways to propel an NEV car, either by fuel cell or either by power battery. So we need to differentiate from these two solutions.
As you can see, the battery, they use electrochemical reactions in order to remove the impurities and in order to achieve the storage, charging, and discharging cycle. However, fuel cells are different. They rely on chemical reactions on the reactions themselves. In other words, the hydrogen reacts with the oxygen in order to generate electricity. Instead of charging and recharging, fuel cells provide a constant supply of electricity. As a result, fuel cell addresses the issue of difficulty of getting electricity recharging. It doesn't need charging. The energy density is high. And as a result, for large vehicles, such as the ones that you are seeing on the slide, you can choose the fuel cells. For smaller vehicles using power batteries represent more economic solutions. So the two, they complement each other. So I've talked about energy revolution and commuting transition. Then I'm going to talk about what kind of roles can PGMs play in all these transitions. PGMs are very unique in terms of their physical and chemical properties. They play an indispensable role in areas such as modern industry, technology, high-end consumables, and investment in precious metals, as they're unique, as I mentioned. PGMs, on the other hand, are used in jewelry, as is shown in the exhibition outside the conference hall. I've seen lots of beautiful jewelry, so they represent consumables as well. PGMs are popular precious metal, and they represent a very important investment grade product. So we need to have more understanding of PGMs. The application of PGMs in cutting edge areas, including their applications in green and environmentally friendly solutions, hydrogen supply chain, the processing of carbon dioxide, as well as other areas. PGMs play a very important role in all these areas. The key here is to improve the understanding of the researchers. In other words, we need to keep improving our understanding of PGMs. People usually think that PGMs are cost exorbitant and we have only limited supply of PGM resources. As a result, a lot of researchers do not think of using PGM in the first place. Instead, they always think of using more cheaper and easily accessible non-precious metals to replace PGMs. That's why I'm saying that we need to keep increasing our understanding of PGMs. However, in lots of areas such as chemicals and environmentally friendly areas, the use of PGMs, while on the one hand represents higher cost, on the other hand reduces unnecessary byproducts and reducing the reaction temperature as well as pressure as a result. The use of PGMs greatly reduces the direct or indirect carbon emissions, contributing a lot to carbon decarbonization. And also, as a result, the use of PGMs contributes to the reduction of overall costs. As mentioned, that PGMs play a key role in energy production, energy transportation, and energy application. They play a vital role in all these areas, from the production, transportation, and utilization of energy. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the integration of four networks and four flows. 5 years ago, I was doing a research project in Germany in a rather relaxed environment in Germany, in the research institute in the country. And what was constantly occupying my mind was about energy, information, and human behaviors, how they interact with each other. And I cracked this difficult issue, and that's why I proposed the integration of the four networks and four streams. The four networks represent energy network, information network, transportation network, and human network. And the four streams represent the streams of energy, information, value, and materials. And what connects all this is the digital information. That's why the title of my book, Renaissance from Digitization, and the three revolutions can be connected, meaning information revolution, commuting revolution, and the physical world can be connected. Computing world and the human world, as well as the physical world, the three worlds are connected. So I've published the book in Chinese version and English version. Integration of the human world, information world, and physical world. We use digital twin to turn data into information. In other words, you can see the physical world rather easily in the virtual world, but you rely on the human world to integrate the information world and turn information into knowledge. Information alone is not enough. You need to rely on human beings to keep updating your information and converting them into knowledge. That's why I'm talking about a new type of twin, knowledge twin. And you turn that into intelligence. With intelligence, you turn useless energy into useful energy. For example, I mentioned once upon a time, people couldn't have access to solar power, but now we have access. Such integration makes makes things or turns things from inorderly to orderly, from chaos to orderly. I was invited by a publishing house to publish the English version of the book, and here I've put the book here for your information. It's called Renaissance of Digitization, Integration of Energy Information, Transportation, and Humanity, aims at cracking the thorny issues that human beings are facing with the integration of the several worlds. The first industrial revolution saw the invention of steam engine, and the second industrial revolution saw the invention of electricity, followed by digital revolution and the fourth revolution featuring artificial intelligence, which is powerful. People say that artificial intelligence is dangerous, is going to destroy the world, and now we are transitioning towards the fifth revolution. On top of artificial intelligence, new elements including humanity and machine must be added. So in the past, we talk about Industry 4.0, which is based on humanity, but now the European Union proposed Industry 5.0 on the basis of Industry 4.0 that was proposed by Germany. And in Industry 5.0, human beings will play a central role. Japan also proposed their version of Industry 5.0, also put people at the center. That's why I mentioned that we have gone through the transition of vehicles to smart vehicles, and we are now in the period of smart commuting, on the way to smart future and smart cities or smart society in general. But key here is to have in-depth integration of the physical world, human world, and information world. That's why I'm saying that we need to have 6 eyes. For me, I wear a pair of glasses, meaning that I almost have 4 eyes, but 4 eyes are not enough. By having 6 eyes, I mean that you need to see front, you need to look back to learn from history, and you also need to have eyes to have holistic thinking. On top of that, you need to have eyes to be more down to earth. And we also need to look throughout the world, look to Europe and the United States, because the first industrial revolution occurred in Europe, in Britain, and the second occurred in the United States. They have accumulated a lot. As for our neighbors, Japan and South Korea, there are a lot for us to learn from. Japan is a small country. They have very limited supply of resources and energy, and that's why they have lots of innovations and inventions. That's why I'm saying that we need to have 6 eyes, because we need to have very holistic view. So the first eye, we must have inspiration. After the first eye,
after the second eye, we have the innovation, 创新。但是我今天要特别强调。
But today, I want to emphasize integration. We must integrate across several different fields. So that's the principle, that the cross-border and cross-discipline integration is the principle here. And lastly, I would like to give you a brief introduction of the International Academician Science and Technology Innovation Center that I founded. Our purpose or our vision is to achieve multidisciplinary integration, as well as cross-boundary integration, cross-border integration. And our idea or our mission is to give science to human beings so that science can help or contribute to taking care of human beings. We have a capital center, R&D center, industry center, and education center, as well as demonstration center. Or in Beijing, we held this launch ceremony where we invited German ambassador to grace us by his presence. And we were in Turkey, received by the energy minister as well as the foreign minister. We were in Korea, received by high-level government officials as well. We were in Canada, Israel, in Germany, and in Sweden. We were received by the innovation minister of Sweden as well as the Chinese ambassadors to Sweden. When we were in Germany, China's Minister of Technology happened to visit Germany, so he attended the launch ceremony as well. We will do a research academy in Guangzhou. We welcome your collaboration. And there was a document released by the State Council to support us. Thank you very much so much from me.